Hello, everybody. Ryan Carpenter here with No BS Golf, presented to you by my company, P45 Knuckle Down Golf. That's right, the absolute best golf destination in Central Georgia, right here in Warner Robins area. We got everything you need. Went through it yesterday with another student, new player, and a lot of today's topics going to come a little bit from that. But you know, the best way to really describe any of this is you literally have to come down and see it for yourselves and go through the experience. That's why I do, and we did this at Golf Tech as well. But getting a demo experience, coming down, getting in the bay, taking some swings, going through some things, talking it out, and getting a feel for basically the process that I put forth and do with a bunch of players. And I was kind of doing some raw numbers. I need to probably get down to a little more detail, but I got roughly about 5 players now that are since this past spring that have been working hard, taking weekly lessons, and we've done indoor development lessons and practice and develop and change and learn skills. We've then gone to the range and the course to try to put it into action and make sure things like aim and so on and forth aren't throwing them off, and then back into the base for more work and development, and then back to the short game, and then back to the course. And we've been through this process now, and we've cycled through it enough that I would say the current level on average, because there's everybody's a little different to some degree, but I'd say the average change over the course of the past, that's almost 7 months, 8 months maybe, has been roughly about 5 handicap stroke into index points down. That's what it takes. It takes time. It takes learning. It takes development. It takes commitment. It takes effort to get, to where we start seeing these things. And a couple of these players are on the verge of going into the low 70s real soon. And so, we're pushing through. We're going through the winter. We're continuing to do the work. We're continuing to increase the abilities, the skill levels, the outputs, whatever you want to call it. The point is, you can't even begin to understand what these players are experiencing unless you at least come in, do a demo lesson. Just come in and meet me, see the facility, learn how this works. But then B, the evaluation lesson is the kickoff. That's what sets us up for being able to push this forward, give you a custom plan, know everything you need to do. And more importantly, it's kind of the topic of the day. Is this happened once again yesterday. And I go into every year thinking, well, players are, they're kind of advancing at this stage. And it is true to some degree. But it's not at the rate that I had expected, to be honest. 20 years now, post first days at Golf Tech, and it's underwhelming. I'll put it that way for sure. Now there is some reasons for it for sure, but the simplest way I'm going to sum this up for today's purposes is this: there is missing information. So whatever source you want to go to, right? We'll use the easiest one, is probably YouTube. I can tell you from experience that I spend a lot of time on YouTube, but I know my sources that I go to. I go to my trusted sources, the people that I know where they're at and their understanding levels and their educational background and so on and so forth. Anyways, but I'm going to put it to you this way. I'm going to tell you this: about 90% of YouTube, so let's go through the YouTube discussion quickly. Of YouTube, well, 50-50 it. 50% good and 50% total garbage. So we already know half of it's crap. But then of the rest of it, of the good information, there's still a problem. A, does it even apply to you? You don't know, and that's the first problem. But B, the second part is there's some good info. However, there's missing information. Why? Because they can't sit there and put on a 45-minute. Like, I've been told, hey, some of your recordings are too long. And I'm like, well, that may be the case, but you know what? I kind of want it to be that way, to be honest. I don't want to come on here and screaming with my hair on fire. We're going to fix you in 13 seconds. It's a load of crap is what it is, first of all. But I want this to be informational. I want this to be interesting. I had a couple of older fellas. They don't even play golf, and they're watching the YouTubes. So, anyways, but there's missing information, and there's a lot of reasons for it. It's either lack of understanding, lack of education and background and study, or whatever, which just means they don't have it. I'm not, for whatever reason, I'm not going to get into all that, but it just ain't there. Or it's the sheer fact that the content provider, whoever, whatever, the teacher has the information, but is leaving it out. And I will say it's mainly due to this. We live in this damn society where everything's got to be so flipping quick. And so that's the problem. That's not a good thing. Unfortunately, it's a bad thing. And so anyhow, missing information. And I am astonished, I didn't get a firm number, but based off the conversation that was had, I'm going to estimate that this young fella yesterday probably has, over the course of 3 years, I believe is what he said, he's probably had about roughly 15 total, at least lessons, if not, it might have been a couple that were like tip sessions, if you want to call it that. Like somebody like, well, you could try this, it might help you a little. But regardless of the point is I got news for everybody out there. He was missing. First of all, he had a ton of information in his head, and it was just, destroying him as a player because it was just so much information. I'm not going to say it was all wrong, but it was just so much crap. But then on top of it, he was missing a ton of information, a ton. And he was trying to basically take some concepts and make something happen in his swing. And the problem is the way he was doing it. It just, again, it's really hard to honestly describe all this because you have to be in the bay. You have to be in the moment. You have to be in the discussion. The evaluation lesson is critical for a player to be able to make a proper decision about their game. And we talked about it. Not everybody is going to, he has a friend that's a mess, but he don't want to, do anything about it. And I said, well, then, he's fine as long as he ain't out there, having a fit. I got news for you. If you're out there and you're the player that's screaming and crying and pissing, moaning and all, then do something about it. And then the ones that are like, nope, I don't want to do that, then shut up and just play the game and have fun and understand that you haven't earned the right to get all pissy, moody. Great conversation we had yesterday. Old Butch Harmon tells a story about being a youngster, and I probably told it before because it's a common. Anyways, at a tournament, throws a club, has a little fit. Local pro sees it, doesn't say anything to him, but he knows, obviously, everybody knows his dad. Anybody knows his dad. Calls him, hey, Butch, you had a little thing. So he gets home and calls there, like, well, how'd it go? Bad day, yeah. I heard you might even had a fit on the golf course, something like, the words. He's like, oh, crap. He's like, yeah. He points to the TV. He happens to watch the tour. So you see that guy? Yeah, Jack Nicklaus there. Yeah. Well, I got news for you. He's been working his whole life incredibly hard every day. And he's up there making mistakes. But you know what? He ain't throwing no tantrums. He ain't throwing no clubs. But he's earned the right to do it at least. He's earned the right to do it, but he ain't doing it. Well, bingo. So he turned around here and he said, look here, you're only about 15-0 so far. You put in only a couple years. You ain't earned the right, first of all. Second of all, we don't do that. And so from that point on, but he changed his tune and learn from his mistakes. And that's important, learning from mistakes. So missing information is probably the most other than bad information too, but it's missing information that is hands down holding players back from really advancing their games, making incredible strides. And I say it all the time. I don't teach golf. I coach people because the teaching part's easy. Like, look here, we'll just take a minute. See that? That's different. Yeah. Okay. We got to change that. Boom. Done. That's simple and easy. How do we do it? What are the critical factors needed and the processes and the tools that are needed to do that? That's the bigger part of it. And not only just to change it, but we're talking about change forever too. Okay, we want to do this forever, right? So this young fella trying so hard, spent money on clubs and golf membership and all kinds of stuff, and there's just so much missing information. And so we got him corrected, thank goodness. We put in a good plan yesterday. We're moving on with everything, and it's he's real excited, and so am I, because I guess I shouldn't be as surprised or whatever's, but it's still a real passion and an enjoyment factor to be able to have that hour and a half or so with a person and just wipe the slate clean. We said yesterday, from this point on, we're going to take your chalkboard here full of lots of information, and we're just gone, just erased, and just leave it in the past. And it's fun being able to do that, and then very clearly and specifically set him up for his first week of work here, and just lit all that. I mean, it's like the whole, like a weight has been lifted type feeling that occurs with these players, and I love that part. And it's so nice to be able to sit down and outline the plan. Like, I basically, after the lesson, I come home and I take all the images and all the information we discussed, and I put it into a bunch of emails, and I send them 20, 25, 30 emails with just tons of information. And I tell them, like, look, this is just for reference purposes, really. It's like, here's where we are today. I put in the time. I still want to do it, and it's important. But the reality is, like, that's just today. Like, we don't want to see this ever again as a reality. We want to move on. But at least it's a helpful go home, re-soak it all in one more time. And then after that point, just forget about it. Focus on the step one. So we got the specifics with grip and pardon me. That was another good one. He had a pretty good overall structural grip of the golf club, but by far and away, he was missing the absolute most important fundamental of holding a golf club. And so while he was talking about this and that and this and that, I said, oh, okay, well, that all look okay. But man, of all the lessons he took, not a single person told him about the crucial balance point and leverage position. I don't know. I don't know, folks. So we corrected that right away. He had no posture. He had no hip bend whatsoever. So we corrected that right away. And that's another one. I don't understand how you look at a player and you can see they're like literally sitting down to hit a golf shot, and that's the most unathletic position you could possibly be in ever. I don't get it. How has that not been corrected? I don't know. So don't care. We're moving on. So, but yeah, we did some great stuff and put him up there with a plan. And so, and again, excited because you got to come in during the lesson sale time. And so that's huge. So, but I can't begin to tell you, we even talked about the missing information in big companies like GolfTex and Club Champions. And there's a lot. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things I love about GolfTex, and there's things I don't love about GolfTex. And so, that's a conversation to be had in person. So I talk about that in the lessons actually. But anyways, if you're out there doing anything, it is, Hank Haney just tweeted, it is critical you have a total comprehensive entirety view and understanding of what's going on and what needs to take place and how to get there, because without it, it's just never going to happen. So I definitely implore you to reach out. Come, you want to set up just the demo lesson? I'm all about that. Let's go up there. Let's meet. Let's talk. Let's see something. Let's do something. give me the opportunity to give you the information you need to consider, man, maybe I should do this. And I got a bunch of players that are, like I said, I mean, I think on average, the ones that all started in March, and now we're in December of 2024. Jeez, 2025 is almost here. Anyways, that's a good solid, 9 months of work. And we're averaging about 5 strokes per player better, I'd estimate. And boy, there are 3 that are on the. I mean, they're getting bust through that 80 number and go way deep into the 70s very soon. So we're rocking and rolling, and there's some big plans coming down the pipeline. We got some fun stuff coming, especially into 2025. We're just going to grow and get bigger and more. So now's the time to get started. Again, reach out. Twitter, Facebook, website, www.p45knuckledowngolf.com, at Twitter, P45KDG, Facebook, just look up P45 Knuckledown Golf, P45 Knuckledowngolf at gmail.com, the phone number, 478-230-3324, whichever, reach out, let me know, contact me, let's have a conversation. I don't ask anything of anybody other than the opportunity to present the information. And even if it's in a demo session, that's smaller. That's fine. We can do that route. I don't mind that at all. We do that all the time. So I used to do, in fact, I'll close out hopefully with this, a golf show in Kansas City. And, I'd be up there for, hours, sometimes 3-4 hours straight. And there's people, just a line of people, and it would just be whipping them through we had a portable system basically, but it was good enough. And get them in there, get them lined up, wired up, all the stuff we do, and then talk about something about their game or how they hit a ball, or, get the images and the numbers and say, well, if we were doing, let's say, a lesson and we were at this part of the process, see that number there, and okay, well, I'm going to put a beep on it, and you're going to feel it and look at it, and wow, that's way different. Yeah, exactly. See, and you never probably would have thought about that on your own or from even the information you had, huh? And they'd be like, nah, not even in the ballpark of thinking about something like that. I'm like, well, that's a critical example of why, until you have this information, look, no BS, right? Unfortunately, what you're doing is probably not going to work if you don't have the entire total. Hank's, what he put in his words. I retweeted it out there, but the total, everything, basically, an entire comprehensive assessment of what you are doing, what you need to do. And so, anyways, we're doing that, and I'm excited. We've got an awesome year coming up. I hope you all come be a part of the family, because it's a lot of fun. And I will tell you this, my experience and what I do is just simply different. And it's I kind of feel like, to some degree, I'm literally building a little family here, because my students are not anything other than incredibly important to me, and their games and their futures, regardless of what it might be, is not something I take lightly. It is a very important thing to me. I am constantly thinking about ways and different things to try to help improve, and I'm still working. I spent an hour and a half last night with one of my mentors, going back and recovering information and some things that I've been studying for a while. And it's to try to continue pushing that envelope, finding other new, better, more effective ways to get this job done. And we're doing pretty good. There's 5 players right now that are making some huge strides, and I'm really proud of them. I'm really appreciative of them for stepping up and committing to the process. And nothing makes me happier than watching this play out. And I can't wait to see their 2025 golf lives are going to be so much fun. So anyhow, get the information, folks. Unfortunately, most of it's missing out there in the wide world of golf. And there's a lot of reasons why. It doesn't matter what it is. The point is, you got to have the information. and I can provide it for you. And we got the best facility in the air. I mean, you got to go to Atlanta, the Georgia coast, at least to my knowledge, to even come close to having all the different various tools and pieces of information. The golf pub up there where we work out of, the best facility we've got available to us is amazing. Thank you, fellas, for that. And when you combine all this, it's what makes this such a different thing. And we're excited to keep getting people to come in and see it and get going. Take advantage up to 40% off price, and it's going away soon. How many days till Christmas? Nobody's there. Hey, come on and talk with me, by the way. Like, share, subscribe. Please hit those buttons and do those things and all that fun, magical stuff. That helps me a lot. I appreciate it. Please, thank you. Same with Twitter, same with Facebook. But, reach out. Find out. Before it's too late. It's going to be a year before this happens again. So, for now, this is Ryan Carpenter. No BS Golf, P45 Knuckle Down Golf. Take care.